back by popular demand, Martin Garden update. It has been too long. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it had been. Time just gets away from me. So this is the watermelon, the dwarf sweet. Gregory was on this side. We have already eaten him. He was delicious. The seeds were really numerous and were like an orangey red kind of color with like black stripes or something. I don't know. It was very different to what I'm used to, but I'm also just used to like seedless watermelons from the store. This is Gregory's cousin. This is about as sweet as they are, as big as they get, I think, because I mean dwarf sweet, so shouldn't surprise me that they're yeah, let's change colors. I wipe it. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, this is about as big as the dwarf ones get. That one I'm sure is probably ready to go. I just haven't cut it up yet. Over here, well, okay, so this cage we moved over. We very unsuccessfully tried to catch that groundhog that was eating all of the stuff toward the beginning of the season. It was actually pretty funny. We caught, there were a couple times where we caught an opossum. Andrew had used melon as the bait. I think it was either watermelon or cantaloupe or something, and we had it over there. And 2 days, I think it was 2 days in a row, I looked outside and there was an opossum in the cage. And opossum, they're not garden pests or anything. They're not going to eat the produce that I'm aware of. They're just cute little guys. So the opossum was in there, and it was just like nosing around the outside of the cage, just like going in circles looking for an exit. So Andrew let them both out, but anyway, might have even been the same one. Regardless, we have not caught the hedgehog, or the groundhog. My nemesis is still out there. But anyway, here are the plants. There's still plenty of cherry tomatoes that have not ripened. I've harvested most of or all the ripe ones as of right now anyway. They're super sweet. Those are the honeycomb hybrids, just as good as last year. These peppers are growing really well. They're starting to turn red. I think next year I'm going to look into getting some bell peppers that are deliberately green, because I think the ones that turn red are not ripe and ready for picking until they turn red. But I find that in our cooking and stuff, we use more green bell peppers, than we do the red ones. But anyway, this is the okra. The okra has been doing really well. We've been harvesting pretty regularly from the okra, actually. And the shoots themselves are so big, you only need like 4 or 5 of them for a serving. This is about the size that I would harvest them. The original idea behind getting the okra was so that I could pickle them, because, thank you, Beth, I totally fell in love with the Talk of Texas pickled okra. But I don't know how to pickle, and I don't have any pickling equipment, and definitely didn't invest in any of that this year, time or, resources. So the okra is growing well, but I'm not pickling it. But I'm oven frying it, which is delicious. And here it is again. They're really nice. They're lovely. And they're very tall too. I think in southern states they grow to be just 4, 5, 6 and upwards feet tall. I don't think these ones will get that tall because we're in a different climate here in Jersey, but yeah. Oh, that's pick that off there. Dead leaves, do not need. This is the poblano pepper over here. I harvested most of the poblanos. You can still see there are kind of like smaller ones back here that are still growing. That one's kind of wonky back there. Yeah. But yeah, he's still putting out some fruits. Very nice poblano. I'm very glad I added that. And then this happened last year too. I don't think it's actually hurting the plant, but it's like totally bent over sideways. I think probably from the weight of the peppers, but it's not harming the plant and it's still getting some support from this. So I think it's okay. More. And then over here we have the cucumber. Well, these ones are cucumbers. These ones are weeds. There is still one cucumber plant over here. It's off to the side and it is still making little cucumber. So he's still very much alive. I kind of let the weeds way take over. But yeah. And this year I'm finding that, I don't know whether it's the way that I'm watering them, or what, but like the cucumbers are growing like kind of bulbous, like fat on one end and yellow, and then just green on the one end. I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And I feel like it's maybe been a hotter, well, I feel it's definitely been a hotter season because a lot of these leaves have been sun scorched. So I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Sorry for the cut. I was running out of space on my phone. So, these are the marigolds. You can see that they're still putting like little buds out, but generally speaking, they haven't really been flowering. It's just been this nice, and it is nice. It's a vibrant green color, but I think next year if I want actual blooms, I'll just go to the store and get the ones that are already bloomed. I won't start them from seed. These are the green beans. I mean, they're still growing. Obviously, there's life there, but I mean, every time they get big, something comes along and eats them. And something came along and ate the roots of this one. Granted, this has been weeks ago. It's just a pot of dirt now that I haven't done anything with. And these two have some growth and have some, and I was really bad about, I didn't finish putting the trellis up, and it was like some of them were clinging. Like I had one runner who did exactly what I had wanted it to do, and climbed all the way up, but you can see it's dead. Something got the base of it somewhere down there. So yeah, learning from my mistakes. I think I might even get not a string trellis, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. These are the spring onions back here. I pulled a bunch from here, but these are a lot older than spring onions are supposed to be. I planted them months ago. It is midsummer right now, and they're only just now as big as I had kind of expected them to be months ago. I can still probably use them for like stews and stuff, but I don't know that they would be sweet at this point and good for use, like, you know, more green onion, more delicious kind of use. But I might give it a shot. This one back here is really tall. Look at how tall this is. Very tall. So yeah, I mean, it grew. I don't think it likes this container much, and the soil itself, like you can tell if I jiggle, the soil itself is very like compact almost. I don't think I used the right soil or the right container really when I planted these, so I feel like I did them a disservice. But maybe next year will be better. Okay, moving on. These are the beefsteak tomatoes that are still doing very, very well. Lots of fruits here. Plenty, more than last year, I think. I've gotten 2 so far that have ripened. They both unfortunately had like spots on them, so that wasn't fun. And I'm finding that they're most of the time when the plant or when the fruit splits like this, it's because of watering inconsistencies, which is disappointing because I feel like I've been watering them fairly consistently, but I don't know. Over here, so this is my bed of weeds. So we had put the fence panel down here for the squash and zucchini, hoping to like prevent the weeds from growing up, because originally a couple years ago when I had done squash and zucchini, I'd had them over here and they were just growing directly on the ground. But as you can tell, not a lot of things are growing on the ground over here, whereas over here it's much more green, it's more lush. So I think even just location wise, I mean, they've done really well over here, but so have the weeds, and the fence panel did nothing. I was talking to Andrew about this earlier today, and he thinks maybe next year we should put down some like fabric or a tarp or something so the weeds can't grow through, because I put the pots so close together, it's actually hard to get between them to get, I haven't really tried, but it's hard to get between them to get the weeds out. I've just been very bad about weeding in general this year, but especially the zucchini is still growing quite a bit. I mean, you can see in here, there's still fruit coming through, and it's delicious. This is kind of surprising. So this is where I had planted the kale earlier on in the year, and of course, whether it was the groundhog or the like butterflies or whatever, it wasn't growing. However, so I have ignored it basically. I haven't watered them or anything, but you can see the color difference of the kale just peeking out, and I noticed this kale is, despite being covered in weeds, this kale is growing, and it's growing even better than it did in the spring. I think fall harvest is definitely where kale around here will do better. So I'll remember that for next year. I think it's too late in the season now to germinate more seeds to put out specifically for fall. I think I missed the window of opportunity there, but I might clear out some of the grass and weeds from these plants that are still hanging on, and I haven't done anything to them. I gave up on them, but they didn't give up on themselves. It's a good life lesson in there somewhere. And then these are just more pots of dirt. Hooray! Over here, the eggplant this year has done really, really well. There's some more okra. But the eggplant, which I've never grown before, so I don't really know what size they're supposed to be, but they're producing a lot. And the one that I did harvest and I sent you the picture of, or at least it's on Facebook, came from this plant. And as you can see, it was very big. It was weighing this down over here. It came from right here. But I don't know why I expected the shape of the eggplant to be like longer as opposed to bulbous. But they are very bulbous. Over here, you can see a couple growing. I love the flowers that these produce too. Like, I can't really, well, that one's closed, but yeah, the flowers have been really pretty too of these eggplant. But the fruit itself, like, look at this color. It's gorgeous. And it's very satisfying. It's a very satisfying, like, waxy sort of surface. I don't know, they're just so pretty. Pretty eggplants. Okay, that's pretty much it. I showed you this morning what's going on with the potatoes. I harvested one of those bags, one of the grow bags. So there are 3 in the front. I don't know if you remember. The one on either side are the Yukon Gold. I harvested the one on the right. The one in the middle are the little purple ones that Jewel had given me. And I planted those out like a month after the Yukon Gold ones, and there's still plenty of green on that plant, so it probably will be a while before I dump that one out and find the little purple potatoes, but I'm very much looking forward to that. Probably only be a few more weeks now. And the morning glories are doing okay. They're not going up the trellis very well. That's kind of on me too, because I could have trained them better and I just didn't. But I would show you they're blossoming, but of course morning glories Those blooms are really only open in the morning time, so I couldn't really show you them now, but I'll send you pictures and stuff. I have so many pictures of the morning glories. They're really pretty. One of my favorite flowers, along with crocuses, which this is obviously the wrong time of year for those two. But anyway, I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.